Well, round 10 of the NRL went completely Pete-tong. It was shocking. But we got to move on and get up and carry on with this. Round 11, let's get picking. We probably should check out the disaster that was round 10 first, though. It did not start well. I went for Eels again. Surely the Eels can pick up a win. Surely. I don't care if they do or not. I keep picking them. And another close prediction here, 48%, 52%. And it was a close game, 16-20. Eels I did by 6. Dolphins actually won by 4. So unfortunately, nothing for me in the first game. That was the theme of it, to be honest. Because on Friday the 9th, Knights versus Titans. Titans turned up, didn't they? Titans turned up. Another 4-point difference in this match. Yeah, I did Knights by 16, thinking that actually now they're going to kick on a little bit. But Titans showed them no. Second from bottom, managed to get the result there. Oh, they might have actually been bottom. No, they were second from bottom. Next game, Rabbitos versus Broncos. And this is summing up the Broncos this year. Broncos are in 6th, but they have 5 wins, 5 losses. This sums it up. When you got a Rabbitos side, who is now also on 5 for 5, 5 wins, 5 losses. It's just showing how their performances is going. I did Broncos by 22, thinking they should get a comfortable win, but they're letting themselves down. And again, it wasn't a huge scoreline. But yeah, Broncos are letting themselves down, and they are showing why they maybe shouldn't be in the finals. Nothing for me in that game. Then Raiders versus Dogs. Dogs won again. I just thought maybe Raiders could produce a result. They were obviously second in the league. I thought maybe Raiders could produce a result. No. Bulldogs, they are playing fantastic rugby for sure. And they managed to go out winners by 12 points. So, once again, nothing for me. And amazingly, Raiders were the favourites in this. I think you guys may be following my predictions far too much. Don't do it. Next was Dragons versus Warriors. Yeah, well, at one point, I think I watched this. No, I watched the end of the Panthers game. Sorry, ignore me. A 1-point win. A 1-point win for Warriors. So close. What a game. I did Warriors to win. I did them to win by 12, so not enough for a close score. There were some very, very tight finishes. And we move on there to Cowboys versus Panthers. Panthers, they should have done better. They really, really should have done better. Cowboys though, in golden point, they had 3 chances to score and did not. So in the end, we were almost lucky to get away with a draw, but nothing for me there. Then it was Storm versus West and 64-0. Wow. No one would have got a close score for that one. That is just insane. Wests have been doing pretty well. They are 5 wins, 5 losses. They are, evens there. And Storm decided, no, we got to sort this out. And I don't even know what to say. I would have walked out early if I was a West fan. Fantastic win. 1 point for at least for the result. And then finally, Seagulls versus Sharks. On paper, it was not a lot in it. I know Seagulls were slightly lower. Actually, no, they were they weren't much difference in it. But Sharks, fantastic performance. Doubling basically Seagulls' score with a win. And I get nothing again. Well, looking back at the league table and what is on the scores. St. Jai, the Golden Hat, is up 6 places to number 1 spot. That is knocked off Hacksaw, who still is doing okay. Brotherman down 2 to 3rd. Midori 4th. Mighty Muffins down 2 to 5th. Benjamin New Elijah both down 1 as well. Kev in 8th. Elmsey in 9th. And Marty is up 4 into 10th. Any other big movers? Bologna is up 8. AU Beach Bum up 7. Stormy May down 6. Aaron down 9. Adelaide Bulldog up 10. Magpie Paulie down 6, as well as 3rd Nerd. Hang on. Sorry. I literally got 2 points in that last round. How am I up 2 places? How am I up 2 places? I only got 2 points. What is going on in this game? Okay, well, let's see everyone else to finish off. The wooden spoon goes to Charlie, who's actually also up 2 places. Well, let's get on to picking this week. Well, Friday, we start at the McDonald Jones Stadium, Knights versus Eels. Now, look, there is not a lot separating these two teams. Eels are still rock bottom. However, they have shown some kind of grit. They just haven't got over the line, have they? Now, obviously, Knights are at home, which is a benefit to them. Newcastle are without injured regulars Greg Majou and Leo Thompson. That's forcing the rookie Fletcher Hunt into the lineup. So you don't look. He could shine. He could shine given the opportunity, or he could crumble because he's not got that experience. I don't know. Could go either way. Parramatta, they are welcoming back strike centre Zach Lomax. That is big. They need that. And so that'll be a timely boost to what they need. They're not going to make top 8, but it may help them push up the table and finally get some results. What I do like to see is Dane Gagai. He will celebrate his 300th NRL game this week in front of the Newcastle crowd. So that's really nice for him. That's good. Now, I know I keep going for Parramatta Eels. I just see something in them. I don't know why. It's like the North in AFL. Useless. But they might get a result one of these days. I am going for Eels. All right? I'm going Eels. Eels by 4. Low scoring. No, not saying low scoring. A tight game. Next up then, Accor Stadium, Bulldogs versus Roosters. Now, Bulldogs, once again, they've lost that one game, and even against these big boys, they are not losing. They are having a flyer, an absolute flyer. Looking at it, the Bulldogs have won 2 straight games. That one loss they had, forget about it, let's keep pushing on. And they had a convincing win, 32-20 last week against a tough Raiders team. Roosters, they've not necessarily been on an amazing form at all. They've picked up 2 wins in the last 2, which is something for them to help them push up the table slightly, keep them in that shout of getting top 8. I think Roosters, unfortunately, they are missing several players. Sam Walker, Brandon Smith. Collins does potentially return this week from a long layoff, but match fitness and all that. Canterbury, Salmon's out. But they still field a pretty strong pack featuring marquee forward Kikau. So, I think there's no reason why Bulldogs cannot continue to push ahead. And there's no reason why Bulldogs now can't finish top of the table as well. Let's go with the Bulldogs win here. Let's go Bulldogs by 8. Once again, it all depends if Roosters turn up or not, isn't it? They could turn up, have a really storming performance, or they could turn up and have a shocking performance. You just don't know at the moment. Next, Saturday 17th, Suncorp. It is Dolphins versus Warriors. Warriors, wow, what fantastic form. They did just squeeze past last week, but a win is still a win. Dolphins form, it's okay. It's not too bad. It's a little bit inconsistent, but it's all right. Dolphins had a very gritty win last week. 2016 could have gone either way, but that is a sign of getting results and getting results no matter what. Dolphins' first choice hooker Jeremy Marshall King remains sidelined, a big loss, and that leaves Cody Nikorima to steer the side of the dummy half. I think Warriors, they welcome back James Fisher-Harris from a pectoral injury. That is a huge boost. And with the way that the Warriors are playing, they're in third at the moment, potentially can go up to second as well. Yeah, I just think Warriors are on such good form. They are getting results even if they haven't necessarily played as well as they have. And that is a fantastic sign to have as a team. Getting results even if you maybe don't deserve it. I'm not saying they don't deserve results, but you get my point. So I think I'm going to go Warriors here. I'm going to go Warriors by 6. With how tight some scores were last week, let's stick along that line at the moment for this week. Then Queensland Country Bank, it is Cowboys versus Seagulls. I did predict a win last week for Seagulls, but unfortunately they were less than impressive. Manly do enter the clash with momentum. They had that. No, that's the previous week. Ignore me. See, even my facts and figures are looking slightly off. Cowboys drew last week against Panthers, but I don't even think Cowboys deserve to draw that after being in that lead and then letting it slip. But it is still a good sign. How Cowboys played, their kicking was atrocious. Absolutely. This is a difficult one. This is a really, really difficult one to choose. Being at home, that's what I'm going with at the moment, I think. I'm going to go Cowboys by 4. This is a really difficult one to call because I was just watching that kicking of Cowboys last week. It was embarrassing. Let's go Cowboys by 4. All right, next is Sharks Stadium. Sharks versus Storm. Surely, with how Storm played last week. Now, I think Storm will be very disappointed they're in 4th place, but 3 losses in the last 7 games that they should potentially be winning. Maybe that last week's result against West is a real statement. No, we are going to continue and we are going to push on now. Sharks are okay. Once again, 3 losses in the last 7 as well. Cronulla do lose Tom Hazelton from a shoulder injury, but they do regain Talakai on the bench to add a punch in the rotation potentially. Melbourne's backline is near full strength, so there's no real weakness there. Pappenhausen is there as well, with Harry Grant on the track to return, so that's coming on as well. They're only going to get stronger in that sense. I don't think it's a ridiculous difference here because Storm have had weird results, Sharks have had weird results, but I've got to go with Storm. The way that they played last week, they were sensational. I'm going to go Storm by 10, so 1 kick missed. Suncorp, Sunday the 18th, Broncos versus Dragons. And Broncos, they started off so well. You think, right, they're really going to be a pushing for that grand final again this year. 5 wins, 5 losses. That is not good enough. In the last 5, they've only won 1. It's still difficult not to pick them against the Dragons team. It really isn't. They're at home. I think Ezra Mam is coming back in after a long suspension. And I remember watching him in the 23 grand final. He was sensational, even though they lost. But you got people like Ben Hunt that's out. And the backup, Jock Madden as well. I think I'm hoping Mam's return is going to be a big boost. Dragons, I think they're filled in that new look spine, and I don't know. It's not easy. It's a difficult one to call. I just want Broncos to push up again. They need to find that form. I'm going to go Broncos here. I'm going to go Broncos by 12. A difficult one. A home advantage has got to play a big factor here. All right, GIO Stadium, Raiders versus Titans. A cracking win by Titans last week. It wasn't a lot in it, but they did get the result. They're not going to be near the top 8, but they can win some games. They've won 3, lost 6. That's no different to Panthers, for example. If we're looking at it, I think Raiders will be determined to rebound. That was a game Raiders could have turned up and beat Bulldogs, first and second. But they were facing a much tougher test than what Titans should be able to offer. Raiders should win this, okay? They do. They did lose Matty Nicholson on a long-term injury, which is a bit rubbish for him. But Zach Hoskins has slotted into the second row. He's filling that void, hopefully, pretty well. I just think the fact that Titans won and it was classed as an upset isn't going to massively help them. It's not a sign of anything. Raiders sitting in second. They want to push for that top spot. Raiders by 22. Let's try that. And then the last game, Campbelltown, Wests versus Rabbitos. Well, West just got destroyed last week. Destroyed against a decent enough team. In Storm, really, really good team, but 64-0 is bad. Bad. It was embarrassing for them, wasn't it? It really, really was. It's potentially going to lead to some drastic changes for for West, which may help, may not help, with changing players and structure. Starford is back from injury, but Pole is still out as well. I think Lateral Mitchell's back for Sydney. I think Rabbitos have the ability more than West at the moment. I just think after that, how are they going to recover? Sometimes you think you got to bounce back from them, but that is more than painful, isn't it? Look, I'm going to go with Rabbitos. I'm only going to go Rabbitos by 4 because surely West should put up a bit more of a fight this week. So that's my predictions. So to summarise, Eels by 4. Will they win this time? Bulldogs by 8. Warriors by 6. Cowboys by 4. Storm by 10. Broncos by 12. Raiders by 22. And Rabbitos by 4. I haven't gone for many big score differences this week. There are some matches where I think, I'm not sure which way they will go. There could be some more maulings. I think that the Raiders game is the highest scoring prediction that I've got. So we'll see how it goes. How I went up 2 places last week, I do not understand, but let's just hope I can keep going up. Hopefully into at least the top 20. That's what I want. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. That's the easy thing to do to support the channel. And as always, I will catch you next time.